Hello everyone, Triple here, and with something a little bit special actually. I'm thinking of making this a series. I don't know how it's gonna go, but as you saw the title, this is Unforeseen Threats, which is a thing. I recently brought up Amino, and Amino is where my competitive journey started. I was in this gym league, Amino, and at some point I started posting there, and that ranged from like tournament, like I did the OLT and stuff like that, small tournaments, and I at one point posted the first Unforeseen Threats, which was just me talking about certain Pokemon, actually. Pokemon that weren't all well known in the meta, but that I thought could be very viable. Of course, back in the day, I wasn't as into Pokemon, so I didn't really it was basically just Pokemon I liked, but it's basically just me arguing why Pokemon should be OU viable. And I figured that that could be a very good thing to do on the video. So, without further ado, Golisopod. You've seen the thumbnail, you've seen the title, so this isn't really a surprise. But Golisopod, I think Golisopod is definitely OU viable. The only reason it is where it is because of emergency exit. Beyond that, this is a pretty good Pokemon. It has really good defense, really good attack. Spadef, surprisingly good. 90 isn't bad. And the only thing it has is low Spatak, which it doesn't use. Very low speed, and then meh HP. But this is a solid, really solid mon. And in OU, there's a lot of things that don't really hit as well. Let me first talk about its move pool. It gets a lot of coverage. It has first impression, of course, everybody knows that. Liquidation, everybody knows that. Knockoff, really good move. But then also it gets, why does it get Blizzard? It gets close combat, it gets drill run, facade. Again, why? Iron Head is really good for coverage, poison jab. Rock Slide it gets, Shadow Claw. It gets so much coverage. Sucker Punch is really, really good. Same with Throat Chop. And it with that attack stat of 125, this is hard to switch in already. The most well-known thing this is used for is a revenge killer. So if something kills one of your mons, you bring it in, and Choice Band's first impression is gonna do a lot of damage. But it actually has a lot more uses than just that. It of course deals with psychic types really well because of first impression, but also for instance Psychup. It gets Psychup, which is a very cool niche thing. Endure, which I don't really see the point in Endure, but you know. But the biggest secondary thing I think Golisopod is viable in OU is this. It has an insane defense stat. This set, Citrus Berry can keep it out of emergency exit range. And then Toxic and Knockoff are really good, and then it can just run two other stab options, or even Spikes. This thing gets Spikes for some reason, and it's I've used this in a video once as a defensive check, and it put in actually a lot of work. But if we look at the OU tier, Barraskewda isn't going to do crap to it. Same with Bisharp. These two both get almost completely nullified by Golisopod. Buzzwole isn't really what does Buzzwole get? Does it get Thunder Punch? Rock Slide, Thunder Punch are gonna do decent damage, but nothing really insane. Landorus, it's a really big one because Landorus, unless it's running Stone Edge or Fly, can't really touch it. I actually did a calc on this. Kartana with a Leaf Blade from Life Orb does not even half to defensive Golisopod. Melmetal does like 60 if it's like max attack banded thunder punch. Garchomp, if it's Stone Edge, it can do something. Otherwise, it's still like not gonna do all too much. D-Knight actually surprisingly, because yes, dual Wingweed does quite a bit, but I think it actually lives. Let's see what else is in here. Heatran, Magma Storm does do a lot, but in return, like, you get to Aqua Jet it or Liquidation it or even Drill Run it and kill it. Let's see, what else? Rillaboom, Grassy Glide. Banded Grassy Glide? I don't know how much exactly it does. But likely in the same vein as Kartana, it won't do too much. It has a really good, like, defensive typing. It's only weak to, like, Electric, Rock, and Flying, I think. And Freeze Dry, if you really count that. Which makes it very hard. Also, Slowbro, Slowking have a hard time. T-Tar, I'll have a hard time coming in on this because of, like, bug coverage. And one of the big ones here is Urshifu. Urshifu actually, like, it has acrobatics, which is just about the only thing like Stone Edge. Okay, Stone Edge, Stone Punch, it also has that. It has a hard time hitting a defensive Golisopod, especially with its 2 steps, like Close Combat and Searching Strikes. Neither of them are gonna do any damage. And then Leech Life actually does a decent chunk back, or you can knock it off. So, like, really, really tanky. Volcarona, I actually did a test run. Volcarona does like 70% with a Fiery Dance from neutral. Does mean I believe you can live 1 and Liquidation it for it. If it's boosted, that's a different story, but again, you can run Spadef in your Golisopod, and then it won't KO at +1, and you just get to kill it for it. Because even uninvested, it has good attack. So, also if you come down here, like, these are kind of scary, but then Alakazam, Ladios, yeah, Manchow isn't going to do crap. Any Psychic type just won't do much against Golisopod, will likely be scared out. And yeah, it's a very interesting, like, thing that, like, you can use them on this defensive and have it counter, like, almost like a third of the meta, of the OU meta, which is a big surprise. And this is also why I think it could be very good. It's like not as offensively prevalent, but you can pair it with like other offensive mons. The only thing is this doesn't get U-turn or flip turn. If it gets either of those, this would be really, really good. Especially then with Bend. But it doesn't. However, and this is something I left out. Red card. Red card always goes before emergency exit. Meaning if you lead this and you have a bad matchup or something, you can actually just hit them with like First Impression, Aqua Jet, Sucker Punch, Priority, get hit to below 50, and have them switch out first and then be able to switch out yourself. Because this is a random. So if you pair this with like a Choice Specs Dragapult or Scarf Hydreigon or something like that, you can really like get a lot of momentum out of something like this. Like, people won't expect a red card on this, meaning, well, at least if they lead hazards, you get a free hit off and then get momentum out of it, or even get spikes up and get momentum out of it. So this is one of those things that can be really like situationally really good. The good thing is, if you have something fast with like U-turn or flip turn or full switch, you can get this, get it triggered. They have to switch to a different Pokemon. You get in the Pokemon with Volt Switch or whatever, and from there you're in a good position to Volt Switch and read what they go into next. And if you play your cards right, this one set can keep you in advantage from just existing. Emergency exit is also like pretty situationally good on its own, because you just get to like, this is a Pokemon, it gets to likely live a hit and then switch out. So you get to move around a lot. Emergency exit, like, yes, it's annoying, especially since it doesn't trigger at the end of the turn. If it triggered at the end of the turn, it would be a lot better. And then it would actually, like, I think then this Pokemon could definitely be ranked at least UU, but maybe even OU. But it can be used as more as like a benefit than a problem as it is right now. People see this as a problem, but it can really like help in positioning. This also, like, it has bad attack, but you could run like Pain Split Scald on this actually, which seems like a bad idea, but also you can burn and live forever. If you run like Spadef with like, okay, let me actually put in Spadef here. Lowered speed. That is a good stat for Spadef. And if we then also like make this bulky, this is not gonna take all too much from... Hold up. Also, yeah, this was the calc. I don't know how well you can see it actually here. Oh, you can see it decently. The calc with Kartana, and it does barely any damage. Let me add 252. And let's say a Heatran. Oh, you offensive. Look at that. look at that. That's... I'm gonna lift this hit and get like a... Hold up. Liquidation from uninvested... Yeah, that's good damage. Especially if like... This just kills him, right? It doesn't just kill him, which is a bit of a surprise, but it does basically almost kill him. Spadef is actually also surprisingly good. Also, just as a switch into bug types themselves, because hold up, yeah, sure. Oh, you showdown usage, a psychic. Oh, Drake! I take barely any damage from Draco. That's actually really interesting. Spadef could also, like, I didn't even think to talk about that beforehand, but Spadef could potentially also be really good. You can also, like, run Substitute. If you run, like, say, Sub, Bulk Up, Leaf Life, Liquidation, or Aqua Jet, this can be used as a Pex counter, for instance. Because he can't Toxic you, he can't Scald you. We'll take it off this. It is faster than Pex in most cases, unless he's like running fast Pex, which why would anybody? It's gonna be faster, it can substitute up, which means it can't be Scalded, it can be burnt, it can be Toxic. And Scald isn't going to be able to break the sub. Neither is Knockoff because of the bug typing. So you could use a Pex to set up with this actually. That's actually kind of cool. Hold up. Also, small thing to note is actually Sheer Force. Sheer Force cancels out emergency exit because it's seen as an effect of, like, the emergency exit is seen as an effect of the move, which means it gets cancelled, which is kind of strange. Heavy Duty Boots is also really good on this. Like, items, it has a lot of things it can actually run, because Band is pretty good. Red Guard is, like I said, very, like, good for positioning. Citrus Berry keeps you out of range of emergency exit, because I think it triggers first. So you get below 50, eat the berry are above 50, and get your hit off. Boots are always good because it is a bug type. Life Orb could be strong, Leftovers could be strong. Rocky Helmet, if you're running a defensive set, Rocky Helmet could be very powerful. Okay, that's kind of funny. Hold do you have any low accuracy moves? Not really. You could run like Skitter Smack actually. Or Rollout actually could be really nice because at some point Rollout is bound to miss. Which means you get a Blunder Policy activation. And let's see if we run Speedy on this. 197 times 2 is like 392, I think. Which... Oh, I don't think this outspeeds that, no. No, it doesn't. It would still outspeed quite a number of Pokemon, I think. Let's see. Well, what else do we have in here? Because this is also... Bright Powder is just cool. Custard Berry. Could be cool. I'm actually curious how this works. I don't think it changes anything, but I wonder which one it triggers. If it would trigger the item first or the emergency exit first. Basically, would it use the item? That doesn't matter. That could be kind of funny. Lancet Berry is still one of my favorite items. So... Also, I was talking about the Spadef set, actually. Specifically for packs. What if you do this? If you get Scalded, you get the Luminous Moss activation. That could be really cool. Flame Orb is... Unless you want to run Facade, but I wouldn't. Metronome... I guess no, nah, not really. Protective Pads could be actually really nice because you don't get shipped by Paratorno Zapdos, who might come in on this. Same with Moltres, actually. Moltres was huge at the start of this meta because it got to come in on Buzzwole, and now that Buzzwole died down, it's like not as common anymore. Protective Pads could still be really nice. Quick Claw. Interesting. Red Card I already talked about. Room Service. You can actually run this on Trick Room. Because of its low speed, it could be really good there. Citrus Berry was quite good. Do you get anything that... I guess Bug Buzz. You technically do get something to activate Throat Spray. But yeah, there's a lot you can actually do with this, and especially some of the more like niche like uses for this. Endeavor also potentially really good with like a custom. You could do custom Endeavor with this. After like you get switch out once, you can bring it back in Endeavor and then Aqua Jet to kill. And yeah, this is like Golisopod definitely could have a place in this meta. There's a few mons that it struggles with, like electric types. Very easy to counter, like a Landorus easily takes care of that. Or even if you bring like your own Coco or Zeraora to pair this with. Coco actually seems like a really good pair with Golisopod. That's actually, you know what? I did put teams in the original Unforseen threads, so let's see here if we use the emergency exit red card set. I will have to tweak the set because I just put this here as an example. First impression, spikes, liquidation, and let's see what else. CC could actually be really nice. Steel types are interesting because they like resist most of the things we can do, but also they can't really hurt us back. Rock Slide could be nice for incoming flying types. Spikes, red cards, and actually I'm gonna run that Spadef set. 2-5-2, 4 in defense, and lower that. Perfect. If we grab Coco, this is just like me Terry crafting on the fly, which also honestly makes it kind of fun. U-turn, like I said, say we make this a spec set. U-turn, discharge. I like discharge over Thunderbolt because the para. Dazzle, and actually, we could run Calm Minds, but Grass Knot does make a lot of sense. However, most of the things we use Grass Knot for, we can just switch Golisopod in on. So, don't really need that here. Potentially really good. Let's see, grass type. We have a Spadef wall. Do we want to run Pharaoh? Corona is still something that exists. This is all like mons that could get very good benefit off of the momentum gotten from, and that actually does mean I'm gonna change this. What if I do this with Roost? Actually, that could be very cool. U-turn, discharge, Roost, Nature's Madness, just as an annoyance set. That's really, really good. Zapdos is here as a Scarf Adamant Mon. There we go, with Thunderous Kick and Brave Bird. And let's see what else. Something Tantrum could be good. Like, this is the fourth move slot on this isn't that big a deal. Oh, this gets dual wing beat. That's actually kind of cool. I guess Throat Chop to deal with like defensive slow blows and stuff like that. I guess for this. What else do we want to add to this? Slowbro could be really nice as a defensive, because we have this as Spadef. Oh, they're both. Hold up. Slowbro G actually. Regen. Peaches. Oh, this doesn't get. Fuck. That doesn't get teleport. Okay. Hold up. I want a high defense mon. You have 150. You have more defense. What the fuck? Cloister. What is one? Also, look, it's just right up here. Like, this is the top, like, what? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. The top 25, because this is 23rd, and it's right along, like, all the legendaries. Ferrothorn could actually be kind of nice. I feel like something with a rapid spin. Oh, actually, hold up. Rapid spin, great. Let me add a, because I'm kind of weak to fire here. Anchor shot. Where is anchor shot? Anchor shot with an AVE. Actually, no, never mind. Could be good. Just as bulky yeah, that's fine. It's gonna do a lot of damage. Something to resist fire. Don't want to run Blissey because screw that. Chomp. Chomp could pair very well with this. I feel like a dragon in general could be good. Is Chomp the one we're gonna go with? Hold up. If we run like Omni Boost, Clinging Soul with Throat Spray. If we run this set, actually, don't run Throat Spray. Let's run physical this. No, let's run special this. Clinging Scales is quite good. Flash Cannon and Aura Sphere. There we go. And then let's add a... We have a fairy dragon. We almost have a... Okay, so... Heatran would actually be perfect on this. Because it completes the Fire Water Grass core and it completes the Dragon Fairy Steel core. The question is, what do we want as a set? Lava Plume... I guess Stealth Rocks. Lava Plume, Stealth Rocks. Taunt Protect, sure. And actually this set runs Magma Storm, doesn't it? Okay, hold up. No. I want to go on a limb here and do something a little bit different. Most ground types that come in on this are physical, so Wisp is actually kind of huge. Magma Storm is still quite good. I do still want to run Stealth Rocks. And as a last, I guess, Flash Cannon. To deal with fairies, because kind of have a weakness to them. Not really, I have Delmice, but still would be nice. And just to go lefties on this. We do have 3 answers to ground actually. So we shouldn't be having all too many problems with that. Aspidef, Wisp, fine. This could be very interesting actually. Like, this is just me building on the fly. I'm probably also not gonna do a battle with it, but this is just like, I fitted Golisopod just straight into a team that actually looks pretty good. And that's the whole idea with this, is a Pokemon like Golisopod can be made into a Pokemon that's usable in OU. That's the whole point of this series. I think a lot of these Pokemon are just OU viable, and hopefully I can convince some people that this is actually like not a bad Pokemon. Same with a lot of the old Unforseen threads. I'll probably try to, I don't know if you'll be able to see them, but I'll try to leave links to the old Unforseen threads posts in the description, in case you're curious. I did some pretty cool ones. I did like Colossal after Gen 8 just released. I did a Alolan Muck. Let me actually grab what all I did, because it's been ages since I been on there. I believe I did one on coughing at one point even. Okay, I actually made a list. Wow, why am I organized all of a sudden? I did one on Sharpedo. Sharpedo is still one I really think holds up. Comfey, of course. Memo. Alone and Muck. Doublade. Komala. Salazzle. I was one of the first people to come with subtoxic Salazzle, actually. Which, kind of cool. Kofagrigus. Rabombi. And Chestnut and Togedemaru, which are both also monsters I still really, really like. So, a lot of cool stuff in the past. I used to do all these kinds of like... Oh, I did one for monsters I didn't actually have on there. Hold up. After Togedemaru, I did Weezing. I did Morpeko and Appleton, actually. And all with like their own teams with it and everything. It's really cool to just go and theory craft on Pokemon like this. So I don't know how this like is to watch. If this is enjoyable, like let me know somehow. But yeah, Golisopod deserves better. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.